Hey guys, so it's Alexis Mendoza. Um, we're going to talk about teamwork in business and why it matters, what makes teams effective. We'll go over communication, culture, and how leadership shapes how the team performs. So, this is a quick overview. We'll start with the current news and then head on to this. But I'll go over why teamwork matters, what makes teams effective, communication and culture. We'll go over leadership and team exercise and also collaboration skills that help teams become effective. And to wrap that up, I'll throw in some personal experience, which really ties in well. So, current news. So, to start, I found out these recent examples about teamwork. The first one is from Microsoft. I got it from CNBC. And it's about Microsoft warning managers that team connections have actually dropped. And especially with remote work, communication slipped, teams weren't syncing, and it also hurt productivity. Microsoft had to push these managers to really rebuild communication since it was like falling off. And it just shows how important it is. If there's no communication, then you can't really succeed. The second one is from Mark Cuban. Also, I got it from CNBC. He explains that team culture matters more than raw talent. And he's basically saying that employees in a strong culture put in more effort and they also adapt better to change while also building trust among their coworkers or like their team. It just shows how the culture works, and it just shows how they work well together if they fit in well with the system. And now we go to why teamwork matters. This I got from Google. I was researching and found that the article was by Charles Duhigg, which was also from CNBC. Says that teamwork matters more than individual talent, which is also what Mark Cuban was saying basically. The people on the team are important, but it really comes to how they work together. That makes a difference. Like, you could have anyone on a team and they could do well, but if they don't get results, then it doesn't really matter. But yeah, basically a team with strong communication and higher trust, they'll make fewer mistakes. And if there are any mistakes, they'll trust each other enough to work out a solution. They'll be able to communicate better, which is also what, like I said, the Microsoft and Mark Cuban situation, it really helps out. And what makes teams effective? Sorry. So yeah, I got this from Google, and in my research, I found out it said Google had these like 5 traits of successful teams. The first one is psychological safety, meaning people feel comfortable speaking up. That was the top one. Another major one was dependability, meaning people followed through. Like, you could trust them, which is another thing. Trust, like, that's been a huge thing so far in this presentation. Yeah, so these findings were covered also in a CNBC article, but it was mainly about Google. Some more stuff is structure and clarity, having goals and roles, people knowing what they're doing, which leads to meaning, knowing that the people know what it means, what they're doing. And it becomes important, which, if it becomes important, they'll leave a better impact and they'll feel better about themselves doing the work. And now communication and team culture, which is, we've basically been talking about it. It's really the engine behind teamwork. Really, you can't be a team with people you don't communicate with. And yeah, like I said with the Microsoft article, remote work really made the team fall off by not having consistent communication. So yeah, strong communication leads to healthy cultures among a work area. And yeah. we'll move on to leaderships and team building exercise, which this kind of goes over like collaboration and leadership. So we'll be focusing on those. So some CEOs use team challenges to help employees build trust and collaboration. I also got this from CNBC. Julia Loft wrote about this. And yeah, I agree. Like, these exercises expose leadership. Also, like at my job, they'll make me do a tough task, and they just kind of want to see how you react to it, what traits come out of that, and also how you work under pressure, which is another section here, that it just, like, hands-on practice builds stronger teams other than lectures. Like, don't get me wrong, both are good, but sometimes doing hands-on helps you get that experience along with it. Which leads me to the skills that we've been going over. It's like an overview. Clear communication, reliability, respect, responsibility, and focus. Just having all these really does help being on the team run smoother. Everybody's on the same page. And yeah, there could be back and forth, like, don't get me wrong, but that could also help with getting feedback and working other solutions. And then finally, from my personal experience working at Warner Bros., we mainly do restocking at the warehouse on the lot, or sometimes they'll have me working at the retail store. Either or, we always work in a big team. And yeah, there's been times that they'll give me a closing shift and I'm closing by myself and other people. They might be new, and they just do that to see how I work well with them, how we could be a team by communicating, like people you never work with or you don't know. Having the patience for it. This job really taught me a lot. And yeah, like, we work with people every day, so it's always a different situation. And this is all the work I used, cited. And yeah, thank you. This was Teamwork in Business.